Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Radio Geonosis, where we talk about Star Wars from a certain point of view. I'm Angie.
And I'm Aaron. What's up, guys?
And today we're going to be talking about all things Clone Wars. I think that's why I'm wearing my Traguda headpiece.
Ah, yes, she is.
I'm getting a little bit of my Ahsoka on.
It's real festive right now. It looks good, though.
It was difficult putting it on, but I think it's hopefully it's going to stay for the entire show.
Looks good. Looks good.
Thank you. But today we're going to be talking about some hot happenings going on this week. Yes. Episode 9 is now confirmed with their lineup, and they're going to have Carrie Fisher in Episode 9. J.J. Abrams was against using a CGI or recasting her, which I can see completely 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. Sure.
So what they're going to do is they're going to use unused footage and find a satisfying conclusion to the Skywalker saga.
This is supposed to be the end of the whole legacy, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's going to be the end. But, there's been talk about maybe Luke Skywalker really wasn't on that planet, really wasn't anywhere. He was just, projecting himself. So we'll see what JJ has to input, and kind of clean it up and maybe make it so that fans aren't angry anymore, because a lot of fans are angry about, the Last Jedi.
It's crazy how bad Star Wars fans are right now.
Yes, they're hardcore. You
Man.
can tell. We're talking about 40 years of Star Wars, and people, this is beloved by so many. They saw that. They were really unhappy with how it ended, how it all came to, how the movie just all the way went together. And so fans want to see some sort of better conclusion.
Yeah. And I understand, too, because I understand where the frustration comes from, because everything feels unanswered. And when
Yes.
you have a saga like this or any kind of movie, and you're left with so many more questions than anything, you kind of it does cause for people to get upset, tension to rise. So I understand completely, but also as Star Wars fans, we got to kind of give it a chance too. Just sit back and wait for the movies to come out and then make a judgment then.
Well, and someone had said, and I kind of laughed about it, that quite possibly J.J. Abrams, or something to do with J.J. Abrams, is trying to do something with the new. I'm getting lost here.
No, it's okay.
My headpiece. Oh my God, the new Lord of the Rings. So I'm like, the guy is in every single universe.
Yeah.
He's in Star Wars, he's in Star Trek, and now possibly in Lord of the Rings in the Middle Earth.
I think
the guy's everywhere.
There's some directors who just know how to bring things together. Whether the movie comes out, whether you like the movie or not, they just know how to bring the world and everyone, the pieces together. And
but I mean,
one
wow!
of those directors.
Talk about sewing a cloth together, man. We're talking about 3 different, galaxies that you would put together.
Yeah, absolutely. But I like when there's nerds. There's geeks for directors, though.
I do too.
You know what I mean? You're gonna get something that something's gonna get across the movie that you enjoy. So
yeah,
I like when geeks are directed. He's just a nerd, man. Like J.J. Abrams is a geek, so he put himself in an opportunity where he could control these stories and these movies he loves.
Become.
So,
Has he not become like in the Avengers, the guy that gets the gauntlet?
Like Thanos?
Yes,
he
Thanos.
He definitely has the power.
Or Mr. Universe.
Yeah, he has the power for sure. Like he's doing the movies he loves. So.
And crossing all boundaries.
Yeah, I got to give it up to him.
Yeah. Now, John Williams will be writing the music for Episode 9, so I am so happy about that. Because I had heard that he's going to retire from doing that, and I really was unhappy because he's done all the music for it, and he's really, really, really good conductor and has written so much wonderful music as far as Star Wars is concerned.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, okay, so what's coming up next week is pretty exciting, and we got news of it from the Saber Guild last week, and so everybody's into, trying to figure out when they can do this. So the second week of August, the Hollywood Bowl is hosting Star Wars in concert, and that's the 7th, 9th, 10th, and 11th.
Oh, wow.
New Hope and an Empire Strikes Back. Now, I've seen Star Trek there. I've seen them do Harry Potter there, and I've seen E.T., which was really...
E.T., really?
It was really good. So they shown the movie, but they have an orchestra down at the bottom performing
along with the movie.
And I've actually seen Star Wars in concert, and they did like a montage of all the different movies and the music that went with it.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that in like 2011. But it was
Okay.
amazing.
Yeah,
It was
I bet. Yeah,
amazing.
I
I
bet.
loved it. But the exciting part about all that is that Saber Guild, 501st, and the Rebel Legion is going to be able to troop that event.
What?
Yes. So on the 9th, I will be at the Hollywood Bowl trooping the event.
Oh wow! Give it a first.
Yeah, so I'm really excited. I bought tickets for the concert, and so then a show came up on the 11th. But since there's so much confusion on who's doing the show and who's doing the trooping and all of that, they just told me don't worry about it because I already bought the tickets. So I'm going to get to go twice in one
Oh
week.
wow!
So I'm like so thrilled. But I bought the tickets a while back, so
Okay.
so that was really that's really exciting. And plus, I did a photo shoot at Wonderland, and I was with Skywalker Temple on the 29th, and that was fun. So that I can get my cards now. But a couple other things.
Let's hear them.
Samuel L. Jackson, totally interested in
I'm
returning
just
to Star Wars.
Couldn't help it. I'm sorry.
Oh yes, I would love. Who doesn't like to see the purple lightsaber?
For real though, really though.
It was
Really.
unusual.
Really.
Unfortunately, Kid Fisto and a few others were killed right away at the door.
Yeah.
Going in at Revenge of the Sith, and these are supposed to be some really top of the cream of the crop dudes, and they got wiped out in one swoop.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm like, what happened?
It didn't take much. It didn't take much at all.
So one other thing, Star Wars comic books coming out in October. Tales from Vader's Castle.
In October.
In October,
Oh, they might
Tales
be
from
really dark
Vader's
then.
Castle.
It might be dark.
Yes, but how cool is that? We're now acknowledging that he had a castle.
So yeah. Long overdue, huh?
Yes, good things are now looking up.
Yeah.
When we have Vader have his castle.
So yeah, no.
So we're going to be doing all things Clone Wars today. That's why I'm wearing this headpiece, because we're doing all things Clone Wars. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about our favorite episodes, what we like about Clone Wars, anything and everything. And I'm sure you'll somehow or another throw in your favorite friend.
Would that be Galen Merrick?
That would be Galen.
And why he was not in Clone Wars? No,
Yeah, why wasn't that? You know what? I wonder now if there's a possibility that he will be.
Oh, I could go on and on about. I think he might be. I do think he might be. I do honestly think he might be.
Yeah, but Galen Merrick doesn't show up until Anakin is Darth Vader, though, right?
Yeah. But I'm thinking we might get a backdrop, maybe who his parents were, like where he does really come from.
Ah, a little bit of
Maybe.
Yeah, because we did see some Jango Fett, some Boba Fett.
Yeah, exactly.
Some a little bit of background of Ahsoka. So that's really kind of cool.
Yeah, and they and the people of Star Wars know how important he is to them, and I think the Star Wars
And how important he is to him.
Very, very important. So I think we might get something. Some little Easter egg or just some little hint of like there's a family here with a kid who's this strong, like something.
Yes.
I don't know exactly, but I'm hoping something.
Exactly. I am too. I'm hoping to see that. Now, I did a little bit of research. Like me, I like to research things.
Yes, you do. Yes.
So a little bit on the Clone Wars. Clone Wars was originally an animated series that it only consisted of 2 series, and it was of 25 episodes. It was released in 2003 to 2005, and it was the first television series since Ewoks.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Since Ewoks in 1996. 1998. No, I'm sorry. 1986. I cannot read.
Oh, 1986?
1986, Ewoks was released.
Did you ever watch that?
No.
Oh, you did?
The studio audience has watched it.
Boo.
But when Clone Wars came out, originally it was 2D, probably because they didn't have today's technology.
Yeah.
Back then, even Star Wars did not have today's technology.
back then, believe it or not.
But it's still good. Good. So first season of Clone Wars was known as Volume 1 and was produced in 2 to 3 minute micro format. Can you imagine that's all you got to see was 2 or 3 minutes of something?
Yeah. I remember just being teasers. on Cartoon Network.
Yeah, I'm like,
I remember.
You're like, what in the world is this?
I remember it being teasers on Cartoon Network. That's
it has
crazy.
to be 2 to 3 minutes. Can't be a show.
Yeah, yeah. It basically when cartoons would end, they just played that for a little. That's what they used that for.
Talk about getting people to really like, what is this? And that's super cool.
Yeah.
So that I would imagine that's probably what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it went on, the second and final season, which was short, so 2 seasons, consisted of 5 15-minute episodes, making up Volume 2. So there was Volume 1 that had the 2 to 3 minutes, and then Volume 2, which had 15 minutes. Both volumes were later released for home video, edited, and featured in a full-length film. Since the release of both the series they won multiple awards, including Prime Time Emmy Award for Outstanding Animation Program.
Yes.
That's really cool. And that was on the 2D one, not the 3D one.
Yeah, not the 3D one, the 2D one. Yeah.
So I imagine that it kind of touched, I think that one kind of touched everyone, saying, what's going on, because it kind of is answering some questions about what was going on during, prequels 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
Clone Wars would later return in 2008.
Yes, it did.
And would be 3D CGI animated, which is I have watched it so many times. I love it. It debuted October 3rd in 2008, and it ran till 2013. This time, each episode ran 22 minutes long, and it had 5 seasons, totaling over 100 shows. It was set during both. It was set during the 3 years between prequel films Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. And in July 2019, 2008, this headpiece.
There we go.
2018, Lucasfilms announced that Clone Wars would be back.
Yes, it's coming back.
I'm so happy. And then it has 12 new episodes. I cannot wait for this.
I know.
I still need to get the lost episodes. I do not have the lost episodes.
They're on Netflix though.
Are they? The
They
lost
are.
episodes? I do not have that.
The lost episodes are on Netflix.
I actually own all of the Clone Wars. I just, that way I watch them at my leisure, but I always watch Volume 1 all the way to 5. I watch them in chronological order. Yeah, I don't know why. I'm kind of strange in that way. I feel that like so many different characters were introduced during the Clone Wars.
Yeah, a lot of characters I know for sure. A lot of people didn't know.
Yeah, and I mean, you see all kinds of different characters were introduced. Now, for me, it was Ahsoka Tano. When I saw her, I thought she was fantastic.
Yeah.
What about for you?
For me, honestly, it was Ahsoka. It was seeing a Padawan into the mix and being Darth Vader's apprentice. Like, it, you know what I mean? Like, it was. I think for everyone, they was probably saying Ahsoka, because you kind of knew who Obi-Wan Kenobi was. You know who Darth Vader was or Anakin was, but Ahsoka was a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, and
honestly.
she was a smarty pants.
Yeah, she was. She had a smarty pants, smart mouth, but she knew exactly what she was doing.
Yeah,
too.
Yeah. She seemed to be, really put together, and and she was very confident in what she did. I think she loved Anakin and saw him in a way that was almost like a big brother.
Yeah.
But still, I think she, it was like her first crush.
Yeah, definitely,
yeah.
Knowing that he was like way older than her too.
Yes.
One of those situations, yeah.
I don't know, man. Luke, here we have the Princess Leia and Han Solo. There was a lot of there was a big age difference with them.
Yeah, there was. There was, huh? Yeah, there was. Yeah, there was.
She was. I think she was 19 and he was 32.
Oh, what?
Yeah, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Okay. But also too with
dangerous neighborhood.
With the Clone Wars, it was actually getting way more familiar with the clones.
Yes.
Because in the movie in the movies, they're soldiers.
They didn't really have character. It was like, yes, sir, right away, sir.
Absolutely. But this one, you saw them in the bunk. You saw how they interacted with each other. They had their own little jokes and stuff like that. So it was also Ahsoka. For me, it was Ahsoka along with the clones, because you get to really see like into a day in the life of a clone.
Yes.
Yeah, reporting to Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi, going on these missions, being the scouts, you know what I mean? Like
Yes.
you get to really see a lot with the clones. So I would say them as well, just as a whole. Not one particular character, but the clones as a whole, for sure.
Yeah, I think you got to see him like in an everyday, day-to-day kind of situation where each of them had their own characteristics. Even though they looked alike, they all had their own characteristics. And I really like that. We did also see the romance of Duchess Satine and Obi-Wan, which, by the way, that part of Clone Wars really made me fall in love with him. I don't know, as strange as that sounds, but the romance
you
between...
weren't in love with him before that?
Actually, no.
Oh, really?
Actually, no. I really wasn't. But it was this romance between him and Duchess Satine that made me fall for him.
Was it that you got to really see the like Obi-Wan with like his guard down? Like,
yes.
Was it that? Like to see the...
And it was the way, in one of the episodes, it was the way they did it, that he looked at her. He had googly eyes. Mm-hmm. And I just melted when I saw that. I mean, I really, even though these are kid cartoons, they really weren't.
Yeah, no. The Star Wars, the Clone Wars cartoon, to me, like, yes, kids could watch them, but that show was made with adults in mind. Like, there was no way. There was no way that they went into that, making that whole series with
kids in mind.
Yeah, being it Y,
the big kids in mind,
rated Y7. No, it was for adults.
Yeah, and especially with that, and even the romance between, the relationship between Padme and Anakin. You saw them in a love situation. They would be hugging, close to kissing. Yeah. And you saw them in a married life where we didn't see that in the movies.
No, there was a whole lot that they covered.
Yeah, they didn't. We see them get married, and the next movie she's pregnant. But how did it happen? I mean, we know how it happens, but still, we don't see it really come together.
And that's why the Clone Wars is so necessary, because those gaps needed to be explained.
Yeah.
We needed those 100 some odd episodes to explain what was going on that time past, because so much went on.
Yeah.
That we just don't know about.
And this was a span of 3 years.
Exactly.
I mean, this was a lot going on in 3 years.
There was a lot going on. Yeah, there was a lot going on. So we needed to know.
Well, since you go from planet to planet, days could be longer, shorter. God, who knows? Mm-hmm. I did like the introduction of Dathomir, Mother Talzin, Night Sisters, Darth Maul, and his brother Savage. Mm-hmm. We get to see another type of force.
Yeah.
You see the Night Witches, and you see another type of force.
Yeah, a whole different kind of energy.
Yes.
A whole different kind of evil, too.
Yes, and good.
And good, yeah, yes. Absolutely.
I also like Saj Ventress was introduced. Mm-hmm. Cad Bane, who is one of my favorites. I love that guy. And then the Clone 99, how he was a clone that was kind of deformed. Yeah. He was, and it goes to show you, oops, we made a mistake.
Yeah. It shows you that it's really science. They're like they were just projects.
Yeah.
But I also think that's why the clones were my favorite characters too, because although they were honestly projects just to benefit of war, they did what they were and I feel like they knew that too, because there were some episodes where like I felt like, because with the actual facial expression, you can see that if they could, they wouldn't even want to do this. Some of them.
They wanted out, and some of them did get out.
Exactly. I was just gonna say that too. Some of them did get out.
Yeah,
some of them got out. So I mean, the Clone. I'm gonna watch them tonight when I get home. Anyway. The last episode.
I'm hungry for it.
Yeah, I am. I think it's just really good, because like we just said, like that whole span of those 3 years, we didn't. We just wait until the movies come out, and then like you said, now she's pregnant. Oh, now this is going on. But the Clone Wars, the politics that they explained,
yes,
those battles that we didn't get to see in theater too, like the Clone Wars was just the best.
And think about it, you're also seeing Palpatine behind the scenes controlling everything, because the Senate and the Jedi are telling him what they're doing, and then he's telling the bad guys where they're going and what they're doing.
Exactly.
And nobody got a clue about that.
Yeah. I still wonder. I still scratch my head to this day. I don't know how no one felt any kind of presence. Any of those Jedi masters.
Yes, and we're talking cream of the crop.
Yeah, cream of the crop. Like, there was no. Is that an ode to show like how strong he is, or is it just like what how like how?
One, I think it's how strong he is, but I think it's also who he surrounded himself with.
Okay.
You know, because he surrounded himself with Sly, and she had the ability to block out anybody seeing anything. So he surrounded himself with the right people. Like we always say, surround yourself with the right people. Palpatine really did.
So it's like you hate him, but you can't really hate on him.
No. He was a really sly guy, and he learned a lot from his master and applied it.
Yeah.
He didn't let everything around him interfere with what he truly wanted. And that was to take back the Empire, take back the galaxy for the dark side.
And that I can respect.
Yeah. And he didn't let a woman get involved. No.
That I can respect as someone who surrounds himself with people who are out after an ultimate goal at the end of the day. I do respect that about Palpatine. Like, I'm not gonna let anything distract me. I'm here for a purpose. There's a higher purpose. I'm gonna go get it.
Yes.
But he's just a bad guy.
Yeah, he was an all-around bad guy,
but
he surrounded himself, like we always say, surround yourself with the right people. Exactly. He surrounded himself with the evil people. That were going to help him do what he needed to do. I like the information about Jango Fett, his armor, and it also explains about how possibly he's not a Mandalorian. And also about Death Watch. I thought that was really cool, an eye-opener. I really loved all of that and how informative it was about that and the planet Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Is Mandalorian?
Yeah.
So I like that. It gives us the insight of like we were talking about the clones and how one of them actually had children.
Yeah.
And had the ability. Now that child was not a clone. Those children
were just
born normal.
The normal way.
Yeah.
I think the Clone Wars is really informative. I think it was meant for like information.
Yes.
The whole show was built on gathering intel from both sides.
Yes, and informing us on, hey, this is how this was. This is how this got answered. This is what happened here. Instead of like, okay, you have, Phantom Menace, and then you go to Attack of the Clones. You're like, what happened in the middle?
Yeah, it comes full circle for sure.
Right,
it does,
and then you go from Attack of the Clones to Revenge of the Sith, and without the Clone Wars in the middle, a lot of it kind of didn't make sense.
Yeah, it does get fuzzy a little bit. Yeah.
You're like, how does this or how is that? But now this explains it.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it's important, that people do watch Clone Wars. Because I tell people, I've seen all the movies and everything, but you got to put the Clone Wars in there too.
And that's one of the things I hate too, is when people say like, "I don't know, I saw the movies." Like, that's not enough. I look at them too with that look on my face, like that's not enough. Like, how dare you?
And
like,
even with the Clone Wars, you still need to read some of the books because the books really put it together as well.
I'm guilty of that, so I do need to pick up some.
I'm guilty of it too, except not Mark. Man.
Mark's
read 70 books so far. 70 books.
Write me a book report, Mark.
Yeah. I might be asking him what's going on. The show also explains the chip and the Order 66.
Which is my favorite string episodes.
Really?
Yeah, because it's really disturbing.
Yes.
It's really disturbing if you really think about it. It's a really disturbing series of it really is.
Well, isn't one of them
uncomfortably too? Sorry.
Yeah, doesn't one or two of them actually go in the surgery room and take it out of the other person's head?
They do. They do. They set it up that way too, as far as like I think if I remember correctly, it's like I could do it for him. You know what I mean? Yeah. But when they got the look in her eyes, when it actually that's what the disturbing part was too. When they're doing a mission and they're in the middle of a firefight. And the general is like in a firefight, and one of the troopers are lower rank clone, like he just because they have their helmet on this time, and then like he just freezes up. You can't see their expression. You just see like, all right, something's going on here. And then through his helmet, he's like locking onto the general.
Right.
And he's like aiming it right at him, and he does shoot him. And then they're like, what are you doing? And every time he gets that look in his face, their pupils get wider, and it's
like
crazy.
they are no longer themselves. They're now under control of Order 66, which somehow or another makes them. It almost like wipes their memory.
And it goes from like, oh, you kind of see how the clones operate. Like there's a brotherhood with them. Like,
Yes, yes.
they sit at the table and eat together. They laugh. They kick it. And then what the Order 66 does is like brings right to the reality. Like they're science projects. Don't get too attached to them.
Right.
They're here for this reason, and no one cares. And that's kind of why it's disturbing to me. It's like kind of sinister. Like,
yeah.
You know, and they just go blank. They don't even know who they are, and they wipe out their own brothers. It's crazy.
And they wipe their own kind. They wipe out everybody because they're being told what to do. But you know, and they're at that point they're aging pretty fast.
Yeah.
You know, at that point. So I mean, because after Order 66, I don't think they're around for too much longer.
Yeah.
And then they're gone. And so then they go. Then I guess they start getting kids and stuff and signing people up to become stormtroopers. So they go from the clones to stormtroopers.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, he's just a bad guy.
He's a bad guy.
Palpatine is a bad guy. Now we get to see more of Darth Maul, Count Dooku, and General Grievous. Now all of these people, Darth Maul had maybe 10 minutes in the first movie?
Yeah.
Here we have this ominous guy. He gets 10 minutes play. We also have Count Dooku, who does very little in the movies, but is a really bad guy.
He's a staple. He's a staple for sure.
But what's funny is in Clone Wars, he has no problem wiping out the clones that, by the way, he paid for.
Yeah, he doesn't care. He's just basically this investment. He sees some of them as a bad investment.
Yeah, but he makes a statement in the Clone Wars about, hey, don't get these droids, don't kill these droids. So you realize how much they cost. And then I thought, because this was in the first episode, the second disc, and I thought, wait a minute, you paid for the clones too. So why are you saying something about these things when you paid for the clones and you're wiping them out?
Yeah, don't forget, you paid for them.
Yeah, you paid for all of them, but also General Grievous. We see so very little of him in the movie, but then in the Clone Wars they go back and revisit that.
He messed up. I don't know. Maybe you could help me out with this. He messed up a lot on what he was supposed to do.
Yes.
He was given so many. Isn't that right?
No, he did. Yes.
He really didn't do anything right.
He did nothing right. But the thing is, I think with General Grievous, it seems more like the wrong place at the wrong time.
Huh? Yeah. He just couldn't catch a break.
No.
Is that kind of what it is? Like, anytime
the guy was
Skywalker would show up or Obi-Wan would just show up and just stop his plans. He was just like, oh my God, can I get one win? You gotta feel bad, like, let him get one win.
Yeah, he was like, this guy's he's like on his last,
He got yelled at a lot.
Yeah, and you're like,
did.
dude, man, you're on your last chance. This is not going to happen anymore. But he just, I don't know. I think for me, it was like the wrong place at the wrong time and just bad timing for the guy. He was just bad luck all the way around.
Man. He couldn't catch a break. Because every time Skywalker Obi-Wan Kenobi came, he was like,
like because he's like, dang, man, the gig's up.
Yeah, the gig is up. Yeah, for real.
Now, when I went online and I looked at some of the Star Wars favorite moments in Clone Wars. Some of the stuff I wrote down I thought, I should have written that down because it's really cool. But when Ahsoka chooses to leave the Jedi Order, I tell you, I was in tears. So, you know, it was sad to see Ahsoka leave. And I mean, when I watched it again at the convention at Comic-Con, I was crying. And I'm trying not to cry because I had my Night Sister costume on. I had white makeup on.
Oh, did it ruin it?
I have contacts on. And so, yeah, it kind of ruined it down in the sides here.
No.
So I was trying not to cry, but it was heartbreaking, you know. And here we have again. This is CGI, cartoon animation, but yet it touches you so much.
Because they do a lot and that's why CGI movie shows are popular now because the expression you could put on them, you can't put on the human face. So,
right.
You know what I mean? And with the you feel bad because like the expression she's giving you is like, I don't want to do this, but I have to. I have no choice but to do this.
Right.
Yeah, so
she's been betrayed.
Absolutely. So,
and then Sidious, how he kills Savage and Darth Maul, he injures him, and in that lightsaber duel, and you know, in the dungeon, they were in a dungeon.
They were in a dungeon. Yeah, that was a really good fight though.
But it gives you an idea. Again, this gives you an idea of the type of fighter that he is.
Yeah.
So that when Mace Windu comes in with Kid Fisto and a couple of the others, That's it, man. It's Kit Fisto. Sorry.
Yeah.
You see them wiped out so fast. Now, if we hadn't have seen Clone Wars, you would have thought, oh, these guys can't fight.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, because they get wiped out. But see, now you're seeing him in a fight situation with Savage and with Darth Maul, and now it makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. Because he could fight.
Yes.
It's crazy how strong he is.
Yes, and we don't get an idea of that really in the movie, but you do in the Clone Wars.
In the Clone Wars. And that's why it's necessary.
And you see how his relationship, kind of with all of these guys, you see how he has so much control over things. But what amazed me too was Darth Maul. He gets cut in freaking half, but ends up somewhere in some pit, ends up getting spider legs.
Yeah.
Then Mother Talzin gives him other legs.
Other legs, yeah. Newer legs.
So the guy comes back. He gets his just rewards.
And even that was a little creepy too.
Yes.
That was a little creepy too, because Darth Maul is a creepy character.
Yeah.
Like, there's no doubt about it. Even at the end of, I don't think I'm spoiling it for anyone. They should have saw Solo already. Even when he popped up on screen at the end of Solo.
What if someone hasn't seen it yet?
That's too bad.
It's too bad. We just leaked it out.
That was even creepy for, I forgot her character's name in the movie. Kira.
Yeah.
When she didn't even want to speak to him. She was like, oh God, I forgot he's gonna call. Like,
right.
Like, yeah, he's even pretty a haunting character himself. The Darth Maul now, that Darth Maul.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's established himself as a force.
But we don't even know if Mother Talzin dies. We don't know that.
Yeah.
I don't think that she did.
I don't think so either.
I put in a request with Dave Filoni. Bring the Night Sisters back. Yes, because I think there's more to them. Mm-hmm. I think there's more to these ladies. They were witches, and I've read the Sith book, and there's a portion of it. Remember, we looked at it.
Yeah,
there's a portion of it with the Night Sisters. So I think they play a really important role in the dark side and in the galaxy, and even with the Force.
I wonder who all has gone to them. As far as like, I'm like, they've been around for a long time. I know that. But I wonder who has gone to them.
How much you want to make a bet Yoda's gone to him?
I believe
Obi-Wan's gone to them.
I don't know. I would make a bet on Obi-Wan.
My man is all over the place.
Well, because Obi-Wan's by any means kind of guy, kind of Jedi anyway.
Yeah.
So if he had, so I'll even give you that. Because if he had to go to the Night Sisters for something, he might have been like, go to who? But it has to be done? Okay, I'll do it.
I think he did. And like I said, I think there's more to these girls and more to that culture than meets the eye. These ladies were powerful, and they had a very strong bond with each other. Yeah. And I you see that they get killed in one of the episodes.
Yeah.
But Mother doesn't.
Yeah, no.
And how do we know she can't have more?
I think she...
See, Darth Maul's still alive.
Yeah.
And
That's
even
true.
in the comic books, he's still alive. This guy could be the father where she's the mother.
Yeah.
But we don't know. He was given to Palpatine as a child, so we don't really know the whole thing. There could be a father out there, because you just can't have kids without a father.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Only Anakin was able to do that.
Anakin he's the chosen one.
Yes, so he was the only one who had the ability. I do like also what they were talking about is Yoda's darkness, how Yoda takes a trip to Moraband and in the Clone Wars, and he gets to run into Darth Bane.
Yeah, that's crazy. That was a crazy episode.
And it also, what does it do? Whenever you do something like that, it brings Darth Bane books into
play. Yeah,
brings it into play. So I think that's really, when they cover those kind of things and they add it in, it now makes it part of the Star Wars lore. So, I mean, for you, what else?
The lore that is Star Wars. For me,
I'm just going on and on.
No. For me, the relationship, I already knew about the relationship between Obi-Wan and Anakin, but those missions that they went to go on, those rogue missions, a lot of them did things. You got to see where Anakin got his wit from too. All those years of being around Obi-Wan could definitely rub off on you, and it's, of course, Padme and Anakin, and going back to Padme and Anakin, and also to Obi-Wan and what's his love interest's name? I'm sorry,
Duchess
Satine. It was really I don't know why they treated Anakin like that, but it was really you can't do it. You know what I mean? Like you can't do that.
But they didn't have any idea
But
that they were married. They had been hiding this.
Yeah, and I understand that, and we all know Anakin knows he knew the rule, but he obviously didn't.
Oh,
care.
everybody was breaking the rules. Everybody.
and that was
Even clones.
that was that's my point is like why were they so heavy on Anakin not to do anything, but they were doing it too. So what I'm saying that what the Clone Wars showed me how like the Jedi Order wasn't as organized as you may have.
Yes, I think after 1,000 years, it kind of got a little sloppy.
Yeah, because I think people got kind of because it's just being not like natural, whether human, alien, whatever. Things get old, and some things aren't even meant to stick around. Some rules are meant to be broken. Some rules aren't even meant to be there in the first place.
And I think that they needed to, as far as with the Jedi Order, they needed to move forward, and they needed to, go with the times.
Yeah, they were
so things. Yeah, you can't stay with how it was 1,000 years back.
Can't.
You've got to go with the times and move forward.
You can't. There's no way you can. I feel personally like I feel like if Yoda, say if something tragic happened to Yoda along that time period, because Yoda he's been around 900 years, 1,000 years.
Right.
So when Yoda's in a room, it's like everyone be on their best behavior. Yoda's in a room, But if something were to have happened to him, I think it would have been a little different. I just think since you have someone there to preach those values, like, well, how do you know, Yoda? Well, I was there, so you kind of can't really argue with him. But he
needed to.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. If something were to happen to him, I think it would have been a lot different. I think it would have been, well, Yoda's not here. It's almost like when you get a substitute teacher. Like when your regular teacher's gone, when your regular teacher's there, everyone's in their best behavior. But when your teacher's gone, you get that substitute, you kind of just...
everything goes out the window.
Exactly. I think if Yoda was something were to happen to him, it would have been we would have saw a lot different. Jedi's would have been a lot different. It would have been a lot more carefree. It would have been a lot more...
You don't think that Mace Windu would have tried to keep people in line, or he would have...
I think Mace Windu would have because I think Mace Windu is... I could be wrong, but this is all speculation because this has not happened.
Right.
But I think Mace Windu would have not even probably been a part of the Jedi Council. I think he would have just gone off and just did his own thing. That's to me. Mace Windu gave off that vibe, like as far as like, you know what, like I'm gonna do what I have to do.
Right. And I feel that he is the type of person that would have, you know what, I need to go off and do these rogue missions on my own to make this happen. Because I think just like a lot of them, that the Jedi Order was holding him back.
Exactly. And it was because you were living by rules that were so old. I think what would happen, it would all fell in line to Obi-Wan. He would have sat in that chair and been like, okay, where do I start now? And then someone would be like, well, Obi-Wan, so-and-so would have did this right now. Right. Okay, well, go ahead and do that. I think so. I think eventually it would have just went out. Everyone has been doing their own thing.
That's if Yoda hadn't kept it together, everything.
But Yoda was the one that Yoda was the one that kept everything together. So that's what the Clone Wars showed me, how organized actually the dark side was.
Yes, they were very organized.
And I think they were very organized because with the times they changed. They threw their laws and whatever they were stood on out the window because maybe what they were told just wasn't working.
Right.
Like, well, we've always been in the shadows and the Jedi's been here and celebrated amongst the people and so like they had to change with the times as well. But with the Jedi, I think they got too comfortable. I think they just felt for a little bit they got a little too cocky and
I agree.
They couldn't be touched and that eventually was their demise because one of their own, the chosen one, would turn on them.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I did like the Bounty Hunter, the story of when they did the Boba Fett.
Oh yeah,
kind of thing, and it was a journey from the dusty arena of Geonosis. So we get to see what happens to Boba Fett after his father's killed.
Uh-huh.
And how he progresses and becomes this bounty hunter.
Yeah, absolutely.
But in his mind, he thinks he's a Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe he's not.
You don't think he is?
No, because remember, he's a clone of Jango Fett. Yeah, but he was untouched.
Yeah.
How about the power of the father, the daughter, and the son? When they go to Mortis.
Oh, yeah.
That one was really cool. He hears his mother.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Now it's coming back to me.
Yes, he hears his mom, and it was kind of a. I'm gonna have to rewatch that one because that was really, it was kind of like, what's going on here? Because I really couldn't understand what that was going on. But you hear Qui-Gon, you hear his mom, so it's obvious that he's there in almost like a. How can I say it? He's almost like in the center of the universe kind of thing.
Yeah.
And he's got to decide what to do to save Obi-Wan, to save Ahsoka, to stay there and be part of what the father, because the father was dying.
Yeah.
So it was really kind of an eerie episode.
Yeah. There were a few of those eerie.
Yes.
But they were. The Clone Wars was good at giving you that feel, though.
Yeah.
But
was his prophecy to fulfill, to become part of the dark side?
And it could have been, because whatever we know the outcome. We know what happened. Like, the outcome is he became Darth Vader. But how it transpired, yeah, because you took down a whole establishment. So maybe that was your calling.
Yes, and his son's was to bring it all back.
Because if you think about it like this, before we have to cut it for OK and TV. Before he went on these missions, he had a high success rate. He did what he was supposed to do. He did what he was told. Maybe not did the way they wanted him to do.
Right.
But they didn't give him the opportunities he wanted, like on the seat. They ended up having him a part of council. So maybe that wasn't his prophecy. Maybe his prophecy was to be Darth Vader. Maybe. I don't know for sure, but I'm just saying how it came about.
Right.
It came about like a prophecy. If I'm on the dark side, I'm looking like, that's the best Sith I've ever seen. You know what I mean? If I'm on the outside looking in as a dark sider, I'm saying like, oh, that's the guy right there.
But Qui-Gon got this feeling he's the one because, and the only thing that gave him that indication was that he had a high midichlorian rate count.
Yeah.
But that was it.
Yeah, that was it. Wasn't anything else.
No, there was nothing truly special about it. He could see things before they happened, but there were others that had that ability as well.
Yeah. So you couldn't even say that was for sure.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And it wasn't even, we can't say that Qui-Gon was 100% correct because he could have been incorrect.
And a part of me thinks the Chancellor saw him. Because the Chancellor always did things to egg Anakin on, to make him, to be that extra, like, I don't know why they do that to you, or I don't know why they don't listen to you. Like,
he was easily manipulated.
So, exactly. So, but I think the Chancellor saw him being the one for that, you know what I mean?
Right, for what they needed to do, the dark side.
It could have been whoever got to him first, whether the dark side or the Jedi, or whatever got to him first, he was going to be the one for either one.
Right.
It could be that. I'm not sure. I don't know.
Yeah, but I can see what you're saying. I can see how they're viewing it, how Palpatine was viewing it, because even in the Clone Wars, he was still manipulating him.
Absolutely, yes, big time.
He knew his weaknesses, and he was manipulating him.
Yeah.
And I think he knew all along that he and Padme were married. Mm-hmm. He had informants everywhere. He had his feelers out.
Oh yeah, he just left her house, Senator.
Yeah, exactly. Someone's watching, and he was not. He was a very smart, manipulative guy, that's how he ended up staying in power for 17 years.
Yeah, for so long. Yeah. He definitely was organized, and that's what happened. That was the downfall of the Jedi. They weren't organized. They weren't prepared for the worst. They thought they seen the worst, but it wasn't the worst.
Right. Yeah. But in the Clone Wars, everything that we see, even at the end when you see Yoda in his dreams as he goes to Morabon, he sees everybody. Remember out in that one area?
Yeah.
And you see Ahsoka, you see Mace Windu, all of these people, because he's seeing them when they go into the Force.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I thought that was really kind of cool. So I really am looking forward to seeing what they're going to bring back, how they're going to do this, and they're going forward. As far as the only thing that I thought was kind of strange was how they had Obi-Wan and Anakin aged. Remember, there's only 3 years here.
Yeah,
so you did not need to age them that much.
Yeah, they do look. Anakin looks a lot more stressed out.
Yeah, he does. he looks aged.
He looks stressed out. Yeah, he does.
And he shouldn't. it was only 3 years, and I think when he was 22 years old, he actually becomes Darth Vader.
Okay.
Because I think he dies at 40. Something like that,
Okay.
or almost 40,
Almost
because
40.
yeah, or somewhere around 40, because his son is now what, 18, 19 years old.
Yeah,
so there's
Luke,
only
yeah.
been like close to 20
3
years.
that passed. Yeah, that
Right,
passed.
right.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean,
We'll get back to it. So for me, the Clone Wars was really, they were touching. There was so much in there, and they really packed a lot of things that we really needed to see. And I think George Lucas wanted to answer for people.
yeah, because I mean, it came at a time where people did have answers. Especially, we know people that weren't too fond of the Phantom Menace or
Right,
even
right.
They weren't fond of those series of movies. So it came from a place of like, all right, you guys maybe not have liked these movies, but here's what happened in between to tie everything, because it did come full circle, like we said earlier. Like,
Right.
everything did come full, and I did. When I was a kid, I didn't dislike those movies. Those movies were awesome.
I loved them.
I love them now. So
Yeah.
so what Clone Wars did for me was just like, oh, okay, oh. It was a lot of
And that makes
ohs.
sense.
And
Yes.
and that's fulfilling and satisfying to me. I don't know where. I think sometimes as Star Wars fans we get caught up, and it's okay. It's called being a fan for a reason. We get caught up in the things we don't even really need to get caught up in, though. We do
Right.
really have to take things with a grain of salt. Take it for what it is. Yeah, we could speculate, and that's the beauty of Star Wars. You could come up with these different speculations, and what if this happened? What if that happened? Maybe this happened.
Or this could mean that.
But yeah, and let that be let that be the deciding factor if you like something or not. If they left something open and it kind of upsets you, I get it. But just use your imagination and think of something, you know what I mean? Because that's what Star
Right.
Wars is. It's an imagination in itself anyway. So
Right. And I mean, it you can take it anywhere in your imagination.
Hey, absolutely.
And people could sit and talk about it for like 2 hours at a restaurant about, oh, it could have been this, it could have been that, or what if it meant this, or what if it meant that.
Absolutely.
But I really think, when The Last Jedi came out, a lot of people were going back and saying, now this makes Phantom Menace better.
Yeah.
Because 1, 2, and 3 are actually better, because they were really disappointed with the movie. I mean, I can tell you, I've watched it maybe 3 times. I really am not a big fan of it, but I am going to still say that it's part of the Star Wars, universe, and
yeah.
I still am going to acknowledge that it's part of
Yeah.
the galaxy. I just wasn't happy with all of it. Everybody looked too unsure, and that kind of really made me a little angry about why, here we have these people fighting. They're doing all that they can. Rey's trying to find out who her moms and dad are, and then all of a sudden to find out that they're not. It was so hopefully J.J. Abrams can bring it full circle and bring it back and bring fans back.
Yeah.
Bring fans back to Star Wars and what we truly loved about it.
But do you think it was, and I agree with you, though. I agree with everything you said. Do you think it would, because like how we just said, everything came full circle with the Clone Wars.
Right.
Do you think he still has a chance to bring things full circle? Do you think it's all hope is lost, or do you think it's too late, or things could come full circle?
I think things could come full circle. From what I read that someone said, there's actually a fight scene with Princess Leia or General Organa and Kylo Ren.
Wow.
Kylo Ren. So there could be, she shows her ability to use the Force. Now we see her when she comes back through the window, that she actually has that ability.
I lost it when I saw that part.
Where we have never seen her use it before. We're seeing her use it now.
Yeah.
So I mean that I think that was really kind of exciting. I like I said, I want to see it come full circle, see what they do with it. It's my least favorite, but still it is part of Star Wars universe, and I will acknowledge that it is. Some people tell me, I don't watch 1, 2, and 3. I don't like it.
Yeah.
But, that's not fair, because it can't be any more than it is. It can't be any more than showing you where Anakin came from, the Senate. I mean, it is kind of a civics lesson, but it's a civics lesson for a reason.
But I agree with that, though. It can't be any more than that. Like, that's what some like it's okay to not like it's okay because you're entitled to your own opinion.
Right.
So that's perfectly fine. I'm not saying that. You just gotta allow things to really manifest. Like this with 7, 8. There's no 9 yet. So the fans out there, like, wait till 9 is here.
Right.
Wait till you get all your food before you know what I mean. Like,
Right.
just
Wait till it's all on the plate.
Wait till it's
and
all
then...
on the plate, and then you can let you like mom, you really like messed up this meal, or dad, you really didn't cook it as well I thought you would. Don't do it when it's not even done.
Right.
But it's okay to not like the feel of the movie. I understand that. Because I felt like I loved The Force Awakens. I loved episode 7.
I thought it was great. At first, I didn't like it.
Yeah, and when I first saw it, I was like, "There's some things missing here." But then I was like, because it's like,
but
it's
there
like
isn't.
Yeah, and then you think about it, it's like, well, what all could they have really done?
Right.
It's good. And then when like The Last Jedi, there was questions left unanswered. I had questions from episode 7. And I was like, well, 9's not out yet. So let me just wait till 9.
Right.
And if it doesn't come full circle from then it's like, JJ, you just dropped the ball. Now you just did this on purpose. Now I just see you as a malicious human being.
But I think he really will do a good job.
I do too.
I think they put him there because they felt that he did such a great job with The Force Awakens and introducing all of these wonderful characters.
Yeah.
That he will actually bring it back and into the fold. Now, Ryan had a different idea of how he wanted it done, and I don't think that it was in true form of Star Wars.
Yeah.
I think it was in true form of how he believed things.
Yeah.
And if he goes forward with 3 more movies, God bless him. You know, and in his endeavors to go into another part of the galaxy, and with doing that, who knows, him writing it in that way, him doing it in that way with not the characters we're familiar with, but characters that are new to us, it might really be phenomenal.
Yeah. So, I mean, the jury's still out as far, because we just don't have 9 here yet.
Right.
But I think with how long Star Wars movies are, they're almost 4 hours long sometimes.
Right.
I think it will come full circle. I think we'll get the answers we want, because that's all that's left in this movie.
Right.
Is to answer questions. That's it. So the questions will get answered. I believe so. I think that's what was his intentions the whole time. I think what he wanted to do with episode 7 was awaken the Force, as far as, because it's titled that for a reason. We get a new character. Her name is Rey. She doesn't believe her. She's really down on herself. She's confident, but not confident. She's
what Luke was.
Exactly. You know what I mean? She knows that there's something within her, but she doesn't know. Her head hangs down a lot prior to her going on this adventure. But she seeks the thrill, and she's meant for that. She's definitely meant for that. And with 8 was her finding out questions and kind of being let down. She didn't find what she want.
Yeah, it seemed kind of cloudy.
Yeah, it seemed kind of. That's the perfect word for it. And I think with 9, the smoke will have to settle, and then you are gonna have to see, because he has a way of directing, and this might with the Star Wars movie, this might be his way. Like, I'm gonna give him this, take this away a little bit, leave him a little upset, and just give him this, like, that's okay.
That makes sense.
We apologize. Like,
me personally, I think Disney's got a lot under their hat that they don't want people to know,
Absolutely.
And so they're putting up smoke screens so that people won't be digging to find things. Because did anyone even have any idea that Clone Wars would be back?
Exactly.
Nobody.
That's why exactly, like, let the smoke settle. That analogy you have to really set in your head with this, because with Star Wars you could go anywhere. And that's why people love Star Wars. We could go see a movie, see it in front of our face, but still speculate and have ideas. That's just the power and the magic of Star Wars.
Right.
So.
But I think Disney's trying to put up smoke screens
Absolutely.
So that you don't know. I think there's me personally, I still think they're working on the Jango Fett movie, or the Boba Fett movie, and I think they're also working on the Obi-Wan movie.
Yeah.
I think that they have put up a smoke screen because we don't need to have so many people in the business.
No, you don't.
So that we can't get this done, because I had never, in all the time we'd be doing hot happenings, we'd never even heard anything about the Clone Wars.
Absolutely.
Nothing.
Yeah.
There was nothing out about that. So Disney has got a few tricks under their hat, and I think that they're going to pull out some things, the rabbits out of the hat that we never even saw coming.
Yeah, I believe so too. I believe because it's so easy to leak information and get information. It's so easy to speculate nowadays. I'm not a professional writer, but I could even go write a column right now and post it up on whatever website, and people think that's 100%
They
true.
will totally
They will
believe
totally buy it, and it'll be all over the internet. You know what I mean? So just wait, hold on, wait. When it comes to film, sometimes the old-fashioned way is best. Sometimes you can't
Just
just
wait it out.
Just wait it out. You can't believe everything you read or everything you
Right.
see. You just gotta wait it out and you know, and just wait for the results. Then when you actually get them in front of your face.
Right, and I'm not going to speculate what we'll see on Clone Wars. I just, from what I could understand, it's battles are still going on.
Yes.
From what we little snippet we did get, that Ahsoka will be back.
She's back.
We'll see the clones still going. Maybe we'll see them aging and coming to the end.
Yeah.
But also, I think we're going to see a little bit more about how Anakin crawls over to the dark side.
Yeah.
But hopefully, like I said, I put in my request, we'll see some more of the Night Sisters.
We'll see. If there's Night Sisters in it, then Angie has definitely power in the Star Wars universe.
And I'll be so happy about that. That means he actually took to heart what I said. You know, I hate when I meet people like that. I don't want to ask them, hey, you know, this specific questions. I had heard someone say, I have a script. Would you be? I would never ask somebody like that. I just want to. I want to ask questions that pertain to some of the things that they do.
Yeah,
like with
absolutely.
Ashley Eckstein, when I met her, I wanted her to know that I bought all of her workout outfits, you know, with all the things that she did. And I was really appreciative of what she had done. And the same thing with Dave.
Yeah.
You know, when I met him, I put in my request for the Night Sister, and he really kind of laughed, but I think he thought, you know what? She's not asking me for, you know, hey, let me come to Skywalker Ranch kind of thing. I just putting in my
put
request.
the Night Sisters in.
Yeah, just put the Night Sisters
Put 'em
back
in there,
in.
man.
I just want something simple, nothing difficult. But I am, like I said, we've got a lot of things going on as far as Saber Guild goes, because we'll go back to that for a minute. Like I said, we'll be doing troops at the Hollywood Bowl. We're going to be doing a show this Saturday at an orphanage in Pasadena.
That's
and
awesome.
this is Hillsides.
Awesome.
This will be my 3rd time doing it, and I really love it. I'll be back again there for Christmas. And you know, it gives kids who don't have homes and don't have, you know, different they don't have what normal kids have. It gives them something.
Yeah.
You know, and it makes me feel good to do that. We have NerdBot coming up, and then Long Beach Con. So I can't even believe we're even talking about this because it's almost in October. So I'm like, oh my gosh.
It's coming fast, though.
Yeah, it is. I'm like, this year's gone by really fast. So from all of us here at Radio Geonosis,
yes,
we want to say goodbye.
You guys have a good one.
Yes, have a good one. But also look us up on Facebook. Look us up on Instagram. We also are on iTunes, CastBox, and YouTube. And if you like and subscribe, we can get a better URL. So please like and subscribe.
Go subscribe now
on YouTube. So from all of us at Radio Geonosis, we'll see you next time.
Peace out, guys.